Good morning. Today is Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. Oh God, if it wasn't for this show, I really wouldn't know what day it is right now. Good morning, Michael. Hey, Carrie. Nice for you to join us. Love ya from over the pond, across the pond. For all of you that didn't know, I just took a trip to Michigan and visited some family for it was a short trip, but trips are long enough. You like seeing everybody. It's always too short, but also too long. It's one of those, like, I just really enjoyed sleeping in my own bed last night. But had a great time, celebrated with the fam. It was the parents' 50th anniversary of their wedding. I got to meet my nephew for the first time, who just turned 1. So overall, it was a really nice trip. And a shout out to Danielle Shafransky. Happy birthday. I wish I could have been there one more day to see you on your birthday, but unfortunately, crap happens. By the way, I hate flying. When we flew to Michigan, thank you. Like everything went wrong except for being canceled. Thank goodness that didn't happen. But that was last year, right? When I got canceled twice. But like got delayed 3 times, changed the gate twice, got deplaned after they started getting people on the plane. Like there was a big old storm. We beat the storm in, but then the lightning started and they couldn't give us our luggage because they had to close the tarmac. So it was about a 3-hour delay with hungry children. Um, we survived, but they were all hangry and grumpy. Michigan, yeah. That's where I'm from, and that's actually where our guest is from today. Spoiler alert. Before I bring him in, I wanted to let you guys know I am feet on the ground, heading right into our next Kickstarter. Issue number 7 will be launching on July 18th. I've been tinkering this pre-launch page. Let me give you guys the link just in case you haven't signed up for pre-launch. Sign up for pre-launch. I have some pretty gnarly add-ons that are singular or very low quantity items. And if you want those, you got to get there in the beginning because they go quick. Like last campaign, I had a limited hot sauce. I had a singular coffee mug. I had a singular rebound book. All of them were gone in the first 15 minutes. Gone. And so we have some more really exclusive things that are coming on this next campaign. Super exclusive. You want to get your hands on them. Sign up for pre-launch. That's the best way because you'll get that email that says Laurie Calcaterra has launched issue number 7. You can go in and grab your things. Highly recommended. So here's the link again. If you're new to Path, you haven't seen us before, congratulations. Welcome to Path of the Pale Rider. You're in for a ride. There's a couple videos here where I tell you about it and you get to kind of see some of the art and what's been going on. Go check it out. Go click around. We got 72 followers, which is pretty typical for where we're at when we launch another campaign, but we would always like to see that a little higher, which means that new people are finding us. So I got some new stuff for you guys. Give me a second here. So last week I premiered a new cover. So this was the one that we premiered last week for issue number 7 on the show. So this is Les Gardner. Again, our favorite Bandita and Undead Forever puppy. This is Lola Martinez Inside Pancake. Then we premiered this one during the week. So if you guys aren't familiar, I've been how do I want to say collaborating with William Russell. So I've been writing Psycho Sal since issue number 4, and I started getting variant covers from him for Path of the Pale Rider since issue number 3. So we were missing issues 1 and 2. So we decided to go back and do a limited re-release of issues 1 and 2, but we're going to dole them out slowly. So this campaign, in the add-ons, you'll be able to add on an issue number 1 limited Big James cover. So this turned out really great. He really likes drawing this bear. He's been doing variant covers of this bear. I think he loves him. So, but it's like up close and personal, which is what issue number 1 is really about, is being up close and personal with the world And there's nobody better than Big James to kind of bring into the terrible reality of how this world works. So you're big and fluffy. Why is it friend shaped? Don't ask me. He's not your friend. So this is issue number 1, but William is also doing an issue number 7 cover because we always do, right? And so here's the first time, the first eyes on issue 7 cover. Issue 7 is all about the undead. You're going to get to go inside the undead retirement community. Spoilers. And so this turned out really nice. And I feel like his hair is attached to his hat. Like if he takes off the hat, does the hair come with it? I don't know. I think it does. I think it does. So here's the first look at that gorgeous William Russell cover for issue number 7. I'm going to be releasing more covers. We got a ton of them for issue 7. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys like. There's a bunch of different styles. Some artists that I've just found. You're gonna really have a hard time picking covers. I'm sorry. So there's that first look. All right. So enough about me. All right. Did I miss somebody in the chat? No, they're all good. Hey, good morning, everybody. So now let's get back to Michigan, shall we? My guess is actually, I think you're winning. I think you're winning this year, Tom. I think Tom has been on the show in 2025 more than any other creator. I don't know. What do you think?
Isn't this only the second time?
In 2025? I think this is the third time, is it not?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Is it the second time?
Could have been. You know, you're right. It might have been. I think we had
In the year?
We had like a January. I forgot
Yeah.
about like a January, February or something. We had that, and then this is number 3. Yeah.
So you're beating Carissa.
Wow, amazing.
I think Matt Knowles is number 2 because he's been on a couple times. But you're winning. You're winning the race. And by the way, the Tuesday Morning Brew is booked all the way through December of 2025. So if people are looking to get on the show, look ahead in your calendar because you got to book in 2026. So know what's coming. Plan accordingly.
I will literally do that right now. You'll start seeing 2026.
He's like, you go ahead and talk for another 5 minutes while I go pick my spots.
Yeah, that's what happened last year. You remember it? We were like in November or something, and I was like, well, I'm just going to take these 3 spots next year.
Try to space them out, though. You don't want to be here every week because then people will be like, it's Tom again? I already saw this one. Click.
Yeah. It's a rerun.
No, it's not a rerun. Like we're wearing different clothes, I promise. So.
Yeah, I don't know how you are wearing a green shirt and using a green screen and I can still see you. Like
because there's not actually a green screen behind me.
Oh, right. You're using the weird ghost effect.
Yeah, it's just the ghost thing. Yeah. So I'm in it.
Otherwise, you would have just been a floating head right there, man.
Yeah, that would be hilarious to do a whole show as a head. But look, I can actually, I'll show you guys. I'll go into settings. So this is something else I've been working on besides everything else is that I moved my office. Look, it is blank. It is blank, everybody. So this is what you typically see because I've been in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which was my kid's bedroom that I took over. And this was the guest bedroom, which had a lot of really big furniture. It was a full bedroom set. And there was just nothing else that you could fit in here. And I was like, I need my own space. I'm starting to take over too many rooms. So we moved all the furniture out. I painted the room and I'm ordering some new furniture and a Murphy bed. So the mattress goes up into the wall kind of. So that's what it came yesterday before we got home. So I'll be building that this week. Ray. It'll be fun. But yeah, I needed my own space.
But think you just live there and you can just do whatever you want?
It is my house. I mean.
Okay. Just making sure.
We still need a place for like people to come and visit and crash, for a couple nights. But most people aren't staying with us anymore. My in-laws moved to Texas and then my parents come down. They crash with us for a night and then they stay in like a travel trailer. So they have their own space, which makes sense because they come for like 3 months. So nobody really uses the room. I need the room. It is now my room.
There you go.
So.
Easy.
But I did wave at you my dog is here.
As you drove by.
As Grand Rapids. We flew over Michigan. I was like, hey, Chad. Hey, Tom. Hey, Rachel, my editor. I waved at you all as we flew in and out of Michigan. Even Chad was like, why are we not getting together? And I was like, you want to argue with my mom? Be my guest.
See, I said, well, I should have just, that's what I should have done.
Just crashed.
I should have just like been like, okay, Chad, we're going. It's Mad Max style. We're just going to cruise up, cars in the driveway. Yeah. Yeah.
They're so welcoming though. It would have been fine. If you just showed up, I'd be like, oh, this is Chom and Chad. Like, we're having chicken tonight. Pull up a chair. And it would have been fine.
Next time.
It rained almost the whole time that we were there.
Yeah.
So
it did. Yeah. We had some rain. Some rain. And now we're back to baking in the sun.
It's not my fault though. I got blamed. People were like, how dare you?
Well, you were here and it happened. So,
So I swear it's not my fault. Like, just because we flew in does not mean we brought Texas with us. Sure. This is hot. Sure. Actually, it felt good to us. I'm not going to lie. I was like, this is nice. 92 is great. We like 92. We go in the pool.
Yeah, it hit 90 and the beard came off. I was just like, nope, this is gone. It's over. The summer is here officially. This thing goes away. Stubble's okay, but it was like full winter beard. And I'm like, no, we're out of there's no more hibernating here anymore.
There. Oh my gosh. All those comments disappeared after I posted the this link. None of the comments were coming through. I was like, where is everybody? They're here. Looking forward to both y'all's notebooks. Yes, thank you, Michael. He's talking about William Russell's book and Path. Hey, it's Glenn. Yes, Path of the Pale Rider will be available on PDF. It always is. Good morning, Pops. Good morning, William. Yeah, Dave Kemp always kills covers. Is that the right thing to say? Yeah, he always does a really great job because William sends his work to Dave. Morning, thank you. Yes, get to work. Ignored Pops. See what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't see any of those. Now I can see them. See, it's so great. He's saying it's so nice, and then Laurie appeared, and then it got hot. Yeah, it was Pops that was like, take your damn weather and go home. Fine. I didn't want to come to Michigan anyway. Be that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but is it getting is it still going to be 90s in Michigan for the next week or so?
It's 80s. It's like 80s kind of generally
going down.
So it's all right. But again, there's rain coming back through, so that's part of why it's going to come down a little bit. But,
ew. Because then it just gets muggy.
We'll see how bad it is, but it's fine.
I feel you though. I get it. Like, I'm not going to shave my head though, but like all this hair, it's like having a full-time scarf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, back in the olden days, before the ponytail happened, I used to be just like you. I would wear a hat and I would have just long hair, just down. And I was working at a shop, card shop, and I was working at a card shop. Like, we were, moving boxes, and I was helping design the place. And it was just like, at some point, it was just like, this is terrible. And so the next day I came in, the hat was gone. It was in a ponytail. Everybody was like, what the hell is going on right now? And then it took about 3 weeks, and then it was normal. And it was just ponytail ever since then. So
yeah. Charles, where are you at? I'm in Texas. It is currently 84, but it's supposed to go up to in the 90s. Addie, it's nice to see you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming. But I feel like it's summer. It's the end of June. It's about to get real hot where we are. So but it's also it is swim weather. So we will just live in the pool. You go in early, you get out for lunch, take a break, everybody gets their own space. You go back in after 3:00 when we get shade. And that's the way to do it.
Yeah, we've got the lake here. The last few days though, we have I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. I kept hearing this. I'm like, what is this? And I look outside and something goes by. And I'm like, oh, somebody must be in like a little paddle boat or something. Like, what is this? And I go outside and I look, and it is literally swans versus geese in the lake happening.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Big Daddy Swan was unhappy that the geese were kind of coming in towards where the swans were hanging out with their babies. And Big Daddy Swan was like, not having it.
And, no, swans are mean, you guys.
He was chasing down an entire pack of geese to stay out.
Good.
It was wild to see. It was crazy.
I hate
and
geese.
now they've kind of like separated. Like the swans are
Good.
kind of over like by the little bridge, and then the geese are like on the other side, and they're kind of like, it's like, but if they get to this point where they're in the middle, it's like it's chaos. So yeah, it was
just
wild.
Stay out of that mess. Like they'll just see you and be like, "Mom, get him!"
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I could have just run off the dock and like cannonballed right into the middle of it, and that would have broken it up. But maybe,
or they would have gone after you.
Yeah,
like,
or they've been, yeah.
Swans are aggressive, man.
One side or the other would have chosen me as their hero, right? Like the geese would be like, "Yay, he's saving us," or the swan would be like, "Yes, he's my partner." I don't know how that would have broken down.
No, they both would have attacked you. That's why swimming birds, you know what I mean? Like they're the devil. It's like when God flooded the earth and there was the big flood and Noah was in the boat and all the animals would have died. Fish and these ducks and geese just floated on the top. So they're still evil. They were not cleansed. Geese are the devil. Hey, good morning, John Westhoff. Was just thinking about you. How are you? Please do that next time, Tom, and have someone record it. Just go do cannonball into the bird fight.
Speaking of what you just said,
what?
They were evil and they're not cleansed.
Yes.
Go read this.
Oh, what's that? Dark Ark?
The Dark Ark is the story of Noah's Ark, right?
Yes.
Except there was an alternate ark that had all the monsters on it.
Ooh. Who wrote
that? That's Cullen Bunn.
Okay, I love Cullen Bunn. I met him. He was here in Texas. We were across the aisle from each other, and I was so busy I never had a chance to go. I went over to say hi, and then someone went and bought hot sauce, so I had to say goodbye. But I would love to read some of his stuff. He's got good stuff. It's Swan Lake, not Goose Lake. Be gone! Cannonball! You got to do it. You got to record that.
I'll listen for the chaos again. See what I can do about it.
Oh, goodness. Lake living is great. I miss it. We don't get lake living here in Texas. All the lakes are fake.
It's okay until the rental people show up. People that are just renting the houses from time to time. And then it's just like, go to bed, you bastards. Like it's 2 a.m. You're playing music. You have no concept that your music is carrying across the lake. Like
that's dumb.
That's dumb. It's dumb. It's all dumb. Yeah. Yeah. I had this. There was earlier in the year, there were these meatballs that brought their jet ski, and all this fool was doing was just running in circles in front of his house, like and doing like little weird, trying to get like the waves kind of kicked up. But he was just like, for like an hour, he was just going in circles, bouncing off his own waves instead of going out in the lake and, moving around and doing it. But he's like, 20 feet from shore. I'm like, dude,
how boring.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I was like, this is what you came here for? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's the downside to it. And I was walking the other day and some guy comes up and he's like, so where do I put my boat in? And I'm like, where do you live? He's like, oh, I don't live here. I'm like, then you don't put your boat in here. Yeah. Because this is not public.
This is not it's not a public lake, dude.
Right. Yeah. We all live here, buddy. Yeah. So goodbye.
We don't have a livery. Bye.
Yeah.
So we get that too because we have like a giant lagoon, a giant pool is what it is with sand. And people are like, how do I get in? You're like, do you live here? No. Then you don't. They're like, can I get a day pass? No, I pay for this. Like, this is my giant fucking HOA dues comes
right.
This shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You don't get to come in here.
Yeah.
Tom, are you a curtain twitcher?
No, I didn't look. I wasn't looking out the window. I only looked because I heard and I didn't know what was going on. And then when I looked, I saw like a white flash. Like, what the hell is that? And it was a big old swan. Big swan. So yeah.
The renters
he was all fluffed up too. I don't know how big he really was, but he was just like, he was doing that.
Tank mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gonna write a book about swans?
No.
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 Well, let's talk about what you're currently working on.
No,
I mean, like
no.
Tom's. No, you don't want to. Okay.
No.
The end. Show's over. Everybody go home. But Tom has been working on a ton of stuff this year, and then schedule got a little wonky, so it's one of those things where just life happens. I live on Lake Cumberland, and in Ohio Navy, we were washing the lake off there was battleships. What? We have washing us off the lake with their battleships. Ohio Navy in Lake Cumberland. How big is Lake Cumberland? Is it attached to one of the Great Lakes? Which one is by Ohio? The one on the left.
Ohio's not on the left. Ohio's on the right.
How's on the right? Oh. The lake on the right then. Isn't that Huron?
Well, there's one sort of north, like right above.
That's like directly isn't Superior. Above. Superior is the one all the way at the top.
Might be Superior.
That's I don't cold know. One. That's the one by the UP, right? Because that's the one with like the songs and everything. Because everybody crashes and dies in Lake Superior.
That's if we're using Michigan as the center. That's upper left, and Ohio is down right
here.
Yeah.
So what's this lake?
Yeah, I don't know.
Google.
I don't know.
We're gonna Google it. Yeah. Great Lakes. It's really not that important, but I must know. What are the Great Lakes? I need this picture. Zooming in. Whoa, that's too close. I can't. I'm being a boomer right now. Lake Erie is the one by Ohio.
Okay.
Lake Ontario is the one that's over by Canada. Where the great where's Niagara Falls?
Niagara Falls in New York. That's further east.
Oh yeah. Lake Huron is the one in the thumb. Michigan is on the left side. And then the one, Lake Superior is the one up north. The freezing ass cold one in the summertime. Don't go in it. I don't know how people go in there. It's freezing. That's the one where like the Edmund Fitzgerald song. You ever been in that museum?
No.
You don't. You know why? They play the Edmund Fitzgerald song on a loop.
I don't know what that is. I don't know who Edmund Fitzgerald is.
The Edmund Fitzgerald. And it's just on a loop. And it's a song about a boat that sinks.
Oh, good.
Yep. The largest man-made. Oh, I didn't know it was man-made. I bet you the largest man-made lake is here in Texas, though, because everything's bigger in Texas. Just saying.
Is your SeaWorld bigger than the Florida SeaWorld?
I don't think we have a SeaWorld at all.
Yes, you do.
Do we?
Yeah, you have a San Antonio SeaWorld.
Oh, I haven't. This is just me being ignorant. I've never been to San Antonio. I don't get around. We'll just put it that way. This is my first year going to Seguin. That's as close as I'm going to get to.
I always thought that Jaws 3 was filmed at the Texas SeaWorld, but it was actually filmed in Florida. So it's totally thrown me off as far as like my visual, because I've been to the Florida SeaWorld, but I don't remember like anything that like I've seen this movie 100 times. Where is this? And so when I went to San Antonio last year for the con, I was very excited. I was like, I'm going to go to SeaWorld. I'm going to go where they filmed Jaws. And then I started reading about it, and it was like, no, that's the Florida one. I'm like, God damn, what's wrong with me? How am I not paying attention to this? So, yeah.
Well, Jaws just had its big anniversary, right?
50 years on the 20th. Yeah.
I saw your post with your shirt.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that there wasn't an actual blow-up shark suit. I think that would have been appropriate. They have those big blow up suits. That would have been hilarious.
Oh yeah,
like, land shark.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a. So there's a podcast that I've done a few times now, and a couple of really good guys, and I just reached out to them because I knew that I had Penny for Your Soul about to launch. Well, tonight we're gonna launch Penny for Your Soul. And so I just reached out to them, just generally like, hey, you guys got anything going on the next few weeks? And they were like, well, we're kind of bogged up for the next few weeks, but towards the end of July, we were looking at doing like a Jaws show, and I was like, check, that's it. Put me right there, wherever that is. So that'll be July 19th. We're gonna talk Jaws and comics and stuff. And it's funny because they always
that would be hilarious.
They always the show is supposed to be an hour long at the most, and every time that I've been on, we've done almost 2 hours because we just keep going and going and going. And they're just like, how do we do this much time? I'm like, this is what I do, my friends. Right. I will take you to 2 hours. We will do this. Have no fear. So
this is why my show is 2 hours, and we consistently we never run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
we never do. It always goes by quick, even with people that are like brand new to the show. And I'm a raccoon sometimes and just see shiny things and go off.
Well, we've already done a half an hour.
Is it? Yeah. Now we haven't even had a chance to bring up your stuff yet. I was like, let's talk about Tom's stuff. He's like, no, let's talk about shiny things.
We'll talk about sharks or something. We are going to have a shark book next year. It was going to be this year. It was going to be literally, it was going to launch on the 20th. But because my mom passed in April, the entire first quarter of everything that I was doing just collapsed. And it's been really hard even to just start again. This campaign we're going to launch tonight was supposed to be in March, then it was going to be in April, and then she passed, and then all the conventions kicked in May and June, and it was just so I have basically 6 months of nothing. We haven't done anything.
No, that's not true. Well, okay, doing
borderline nothing. I mean, even the campaign that we did the Critter and Chloe campaign. Yeah, that wasn't even supposed to be a campaign. It was just going to be convention exclusives that I was like, let me just put these things. Let me remind people that we exist. And so we did that little campaign, which did really well. But it wasn't really supposed to be a thing. It was just let's just do this. And so finally, I was like, we have to get this thing done. It doesn't matter kind of where I sit anymore and how I'm sort of internalizing things. I have to get back to work. And so I was like, okay, end of June, we're going to do this. It puts me into July. And then about a month later, we have the Oz Omnibus in August that we have to do. I have to be ready for that Oz Omnibus. And then in October, we're doing our 15-year anniversary anthology. I have to be ready for that. So it was just like, this is it. If I don't do this now, if I don't do this now, work is not happening this year. So we got things set. We got everything reworked in the Kickstarter world, and they didn't even approve the campaign. I'm sitting here waiting to be approved. They didn't even approve the campaign until yesterday. I'm like, what are you doing? The last 5 campaigns have been 30-second. Yes, let's go. And then here's this we'll let you know on the 26th. I'm like, no, I'm launching on the 24th. So let's pick up the pace.
I don't get that, because I get that too, where it's so my friends were first time Kickstarter and putting their stuff together and have questions, and I'm like, okay, well, make sure you get your pre-launch set up and get your campaign approved. It might take a week or two. And they're like, it's approved. And I was like, what? I'm like, how come mine aren't instantly approved? I'm like, you just set it up and you've never done. You're approved, okay? And they're like, and I launched. And I was like, no, don't do that. It's like, you missed all the, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I the only thing that I could assume was, one of two things. One is, I don't know. There's no rationale for it.
Did you have another one that was? I know it's like
no. Everything's been approved. Everything's been approved in seconds in the last 6 months. So the only thing that I thought of was maybe potentially, depending on how they do their reviews, which I still don't know how they really do them. Depending on how they do their reviews, maybe there was like a cleavage alert that they had to check on or something, because Penny for
Oh,
Your Soul is like, you know, the sexy angel stuff, but there's no nudity in it in anything on our covers. So there was definitely like the sexy stuff, but it wasn't over the top. And then, you know, Monday it was like, all right, fine, you can, you know, do your thing, go ahead, launch your campaign. I'm like, okay, thanks. So we started talking about it yesterday with the what do you call it, the landing page link, and which I put no bearing in those things anyway. But it would have been nice to just kind of float it for a day, and then we got the link, the you can go, here's your landing page, and then my internet died yesterday.
what?
So yeah, my internet at the house just it died.
You couldn't share it.
Couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. So it was just like, oh
Here,
my
I'll
God,
share it. Here.
this is ridiculous. Yeah, you can give them the link. You can give them the preview link. You can post that preview link.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there too, but just so they can see it, this is what it looks like.
That's
so
the landing
if you go to
page.
Kickstarter and you want to sign up for pre-launch, you just click this this button right here, notify me upon launch. That's the best one, because when this thing goes live tonight, you'll be able to get in there and get the exclusives.
Yep.
So definitely do that. It's interesting because now on these, like mine, it's like you can put videos, you can put all sorts of stuff in the pre-launch page now, where it used to be just the banner. And like, this is all the information that you could squeeze in there. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm tinkering with it. All I did was post our preview art in there so people could see the preview art. But as I kind of do some more campaigns, I'll you know, figure out, like, does the video matter here? I'm still very anti-video anyway. There is actually a video. I did make a video for this freaking thing. But I just, again, I don't have a sense that stuff matters once you're established, right? I think it doesn't matter anymore. When people don't know who you are, I think there's value, because they're like, okay, who's this guy? Like, what are they doing? But over time, I've just been like, I'm not doing these videos anymore. It takes too much time to mess around with them for, in my mind, a very little ROI. So, I do them whenever I kind of feel like it.
Yeah, and it depends on how much time you have, and it's like when there's a lot of moving parts and other things going on, maybe, because I do my videos all different styles just to try and keep it fresh and do things. I've started them with me getting run over by a car. I've done, you know, just art with music and things, and I've done me talking, and honestly, I get the same amount of views on all of them.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I do shenanigans in them sometimes, so people will watch further into them because I'm like throwing chicken nuggets and dressing up as a zombie. But the people that are new to Path have no idea, like, why are we laughing about dinosaur chicken nuggets? They have no idea.
Yeah, I think there's value for videos in other sort of places of social media and so on, right? Because people watch this stuff. People are watching this show right now. So I think there's a value to them. I think that the value to Kickstarter, though, is very minimal. That's all. That's
a short attention span, and like that's me too. Like I'll start to watch it, and as soon as I'm bored, I'm scrolling.
Yeah,
like show me your variant covers. That's really what I want to see.
Show me the product. I want to see what it is.
Show me your add-ons. You know, like what are we stretch goaling for?
Right. You can't sell me anything. Okay. This is the thing.
I've noticed.
This is for me. This is for me.
I've tried.
You cannot sell me anything. I either see it and I want it, or I see it and I don't want it. Yeah. So for me, the video, even if I like the video, it doesn't sell me the product, because I'm either like, yes, I want that. No, I don't want that. And so unfortunately, that's also one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of stuff in the marketing realm of this sort of thing, because I always kind of look at it as, well, if it doesn't work on me, it doesn't work on anyone. But that's false. That's false. That's a falsehood.
Because I fall into that too, where everybody has an email list, and I'm like, I'm not doing one because I hate those. You know what I mean? People are like, you're missing out on opportunity. And I am, because I'm like, I never read those. I read the highlighted stuff, like in the email subject line.
Yeah.
And if it's something I'm interested in, I'll read it. But most of the time, I get so many Kickstarter updates. I'm like, delete.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those. People are like, well, we updated you. And I'm like, well, If I really wanted to see what the updates are, I can even go to the campaign and just click on the updates tab and read them all.
Right. Yeah, it's social media and all of that stuff. It doesn't work the way we think it does, but at the same time, it does work when it's used properly. I mean, marketing agencies exist for a reason. They're doing things, commercials. I mean, this stuff works, but it has to be done right. And I don't have time to figure out how to do it right. And so I just kind of, for me, I always kind of look at it as the product needs to be selling itself. And if the product can't sell itself, the product shouldn't exist. I can help if someone has questions about the product, like, oh, I like this. What is this? I'm happy to talk about it. But if they look at it and they go, nah, don't want it, there's really nothing I can do to fix that.
Yeah. And when you're at a table and you're like, hey, do you like zombies? And they're like, no. And I'm like, move along. I got hot sauce and that's about it. That's the only thing I can combat that with. They're like, I'm not really into zombies. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, we're not really zombies, but we're zombie adjacent. They're like, nah. I'm like, here's chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
That's it. But let's talk about this. Okay. So for Michael, I think this is the first time you're seeing Tom, possibly. You could have seen him last time he was on the show. But Tom has his hands in a bunch of different series. And so this one is more of the supernatural. He has Princesses versus Zombies, which is hilarious. There's Legend of Oz. That one's my personal favorite of Tom's, just because I got to participate. No, because it's really good and it's a Western. It's a retelling of the story of the Wizard of Oz as a Western, which works. It's so bizarre. I didn't think it was going to. It works really well. And he has so many other like superhero and critter. And so there's a ton to check out from Tom Hutchinson. And one of the cool things about Tom is he's been around so long that he'll do things like a book fair. So I really hope to be around for that long where I could do like a book fair. Good morning, Max. Where it's like, okay, here's all the different series that I've been a part of, and you might be into Path, but did you also know that I write Psycho Sal? And did you also know that I've done, anthologies for Tom and for Travis Gibbs and for, you know what I mean? So it's just really fun to have it all in one place and be like, oh, I didn't know I could get one about, what's the girl from Alaska that like fights aliens? Is that it?
Oh, Ukalik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So it's just like some of these things that go under the radar sometimes, you know what I mean? That they're all in one place. So that's just a little tidbit, my tidbit about Tom Hutchinson. But let's talk about Penny for Your Soul. And this is one that I'm itching to dig into. And I just haven't had the time because I've been in Michigan. But I love a good supernatural story.
Well, it's supernatural in the sense that it's
angels, demons.
There's angels and demons and so on. But this is a very theological book,
which I like.
That it is essentially, I've called it the sequel to the greatest story ever told, which is the Bible. But it really is actually the Bible, because we're dealing with the 7 signs of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
The first 4, the 4 horsemen, and then on and on and on. So that's what this series is it starts, the first volume is war.
Tom hates everything.
Yeah.
This is common knowledge. Thank you.
Yep. So the first volume is war, even though in the Bible, war is actually the second horseman. And so we play with how it can be modified and altered, but still tell the same story, or still fulfill the same prophecy that is there. So we monkey with the mechanics of it and things, but it's very theological. So if you know things from the Bible, or the generalities of it, I think there's extra layers to it. But otherwise, the general story is, a demon decides she wants to get in on the end of days battle between heaven and hell. So she sets herself up in Las Vegas with a hotel and casino and offers to buy her patron souls for $10,000. That's the underlying,
but isn't that
foundation.
Messing it up, because she's not the devil and she's not God. So she's this third party throwing a monkey wrench into the ultimate plan.
So in volume 1, heaven and hell, Lucifer and Jesus, they notice these missing souls that aren't coming where they're supposed to be. And they come to Vegas to be like, okay, what's what's the haps down here?
Yeah.
And that's the first volume. And there's a big fight and a big battle. I won't tell you how that story breaks down, but then that leads into the second volume, which is the false prophet. We introduce Joan of Arc quickly in that one. And then the third, in reading order, the third portion of the story is Joan of Arc's story. And then from that, we go into volume 4, which is, it's volume 4, but it's the third horseman, death, and then the fourth horseman, pestilence. And then that leads us to where we are here, which is Mary Magdalene, 7 demons. Spoiler alert, along the way, Mary ends up in hell. And she's trying to find her way down there. You know, what is my place down here? She's taken some of Lucifer's sort of offers of power and you know, control over things in hell, to become sort of the you know, princess of hell. And in this book, it's called 7 demons because, again, back to the Bible said that Jesus exorcised 7 demons out of her. So this is where Mary is confronted with the 7 demons from, you know, way back in the day.
They're like, hey, we got this eviction notice.
Right.
We'd like to talk to the manager, please.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Like,
right.
Damn it. I thought I got rid of you guys.
Yep.
Here we are again.
So,
that's
you know,
interesting.
Along the way, like
ask you how you have Mary Magdalene aligned in the story.
So she really quickly, she started as Danica's casino manager, basically helping buy souls. We find out that when Mary did die, instead of going to heaven or hell, she was put in purgatory. And so there's backstory there. Why didn't Jesus take her to heaven? And, you know, why didn't he get her out of purgatory? Why did Danica have to get her out of purgatory? So there's all of these little things, these little threads. And what's kind of interesting is as the story continues, you really start to see, everybody kind of looks at it as it's Danica's book. You know, it's about Danica and what she's doing. She's the one buying all the souls. But when you start to really kind of read the thread through all of this, it's Mary's story through all of this. Like every book that you read, there's the Mary thread that goes through it all. So she kind of ties it all together. And we introduce characters like Dante is in this book. He's mapping hell, basically. He's a cartographer in our story. Like I said, Joan of Arc is in there. Adam and Eve make appearances. Lucifer, of course. We have our own characters that we introduce along the way. Cupid has become a huge character. Cupid and Joan of Arc are sort of like buddies and team up. And of course, we have the 4 horsemen. So we have War, and that's War right at the top, right there in the orange outfit.
Yeah,
that's her. That's War. False prophet. We find out. Well, I won't tell you who the false prophet is, but we find out who the false prophet is in volume 2. Volume 3, Death, is Anubis. He's our death for the thing. And then volume 4, Pestilence, we do reveal who Pestilence is. I won't tell you who that is either, but I loved that reveal. No one saw that coming.
Now I know what to look for. I'm like, all right, who's Pestilence? I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, that was a great one. And then that leads us into where we are here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love a good theological story. I really
do. It's very Bible based, and then obviously thrown into the blender of what I need it to be. But what is interesting is, you know, some people will be like, oh my God, that's like, you know, blasphemy or whatever. And I'm like, well, maybe.
No.
But the reality is that when I go to cons, I don't know specifically whether they're pastors, priests, whatever terminology they use, they love the book. They come and talk to me at cons because they want to see the next piece of this thing, because what they see, it's similar to what I did with Oz, right? There are Oz purists that are like, get the fuck out of here with that. And then, but when I can break them down and let them see that, it's different, but it's all based on the foundation that you understand, which is the Baum books. They're like, oh yeah, I can see what you're talking about here. So it's the same thing, because this book is so sort of steeped in the biblical references. People that enjoy that and can understand fiction versus whatever they want to believe, they just see it as a cool, like, alternate history or alternate take or whatever it is, and they're fascinated and want to talk to me about my sort of experiences with the Bible as to how it became this thing.
Yes. And I think like, for example, with Legend of Oz, it's like you could find a whole new audience and introduce them to Oz in the original work, because as soon, that's the thing is, and I'm hoping the same thing for me with Westerns. It's like, you might like what I'm doing, but I'm pulling from this source. Maybe go check out the source too. You know what I mean? So it's like, you might be introducing a whole new generation of people to Oz and to the Bible, maybe. Be like, I have to go look that up. Did that really happen? What says it? What does it say about Mary Magdalene? What does it say about, in Revelation? What's really Joan of Arc's story?
Yeah, and one of the things that we do here, it's not pure Bible. It's everything. So it's like, if you go to Michael's comment, the angels that created the Nephilim, right? So that came from the book of Enoch, and we have Enoch as one of the characters in here. And in Pestilence, we actually turned the book of Enoch into a musical in Vegas. So it's like a show that's at the Babylon.
That's the funny part is like, because it's fiction, you can take liberties and you can do things where people aren't like, what?
So it's the book of Enoch, the musical at the Babylon Hotel. Yeah. So
what happens to the spirits though when they die?
So
he has purchased their soul. I know they're missing. They're not going to heaven or hell. So where do they go?
Right. So basically, there is a guff. It's a term that I pulled from a movie. You ever seen The Seventh Sign with Demi Moore?
No.
Okay, you got to see that. So there was a term there.
It sounds familiar. So maybe I saw it a long time ago.
Sure. Yeah. There's a term that they have called the guff. And basically the gist of it is that the guff is where all these souls exist. And in that movie, the guff is empty. There's a baby that's going to get born without a soul, and it brings the end of the world, and so on and so on. Anyway, but the guff, I always loved that term, and I looked it up, and it's not exactly right, but I used it anyway, because we kind of pull from all these places. So there's a guff where when you die, you go to heaven or to hell or to where or to Vegas, basically. And so Danica has a guff of souls where they go to wherever, and she collects them there.
But is it like a container? Like, does it have like just this? It's like a bag of holding. They just go in there and they stay. Or is it like it's another casino with no exit where you're not winning on slots? Like,
it hasn't been completely revealed what it looks like, what it is. But the idea is that, yes, they go there and they get held until they are deemed useful in the casino, whatever. And then they're given a new body. The soul goes into the body, and then they become, oh, you're going to go run the blackjack table now for eternity, or, whatever it happens to be. Yeah.
So as you cycling blackjack dealers,
basically. Yeah. Or they're turned into, dancers, or they're turned into whatever the casino happens to need at the time, Yeah. So throughout the book, you'll see different characters sell their souls, and you'll see what happens to them when they die, and then they kind of come back. And some of them sort of get, like I said, they're just like, well, okay, you're going to be, a waitress, whatever. Others have more specific roles in the overall story. So I don't want to like blow up all the spoilers for everybody that's new to it. So, but yeah, basically that's it. And then, heaven and hell are like, where's Judy? Like, she was supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't know what's going on. And then they kind of start to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. So, and she's in Vegas. That's the answer. She's in Vegas,
I mean, I guess that's better than hell. Could be good, compared to heaven, depending on if you like to play slots or not. Yeah. Jesus Christ Superstar was quite the epic. Yes. Yeah. And I wonder, you did mention Jesus Christ is in this story, right?
Oh yeah, he's a televangelist. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is Lilith
in this Lilith story? Is absolutely in it. Yes.
See,
Lilith is absolutely
great.
Lilith has a big part, and she has a very unique part. Yeah.
Tom, the link that you sent me for the preview isn't working. It just takes you to the notify upon launch page. And my dog is crying in the hallway.
Oh,
So I gotta
you're
kick him
right.
outside. I picked him up this morning from doggy boarding. So he's right by the door. Let me shove him out the door because I think he's got to go potty. But will you get the link? We could put it up there because I'd like to see the preview as well.
Oh, here we go.
This is a good page, but
yep,
I know, poor guy.
I was in the wrong place.
He had a rough week. It's like he got neutered right before we went on vacation, so he was wearing a cone for 12 days and then went directly into daycare. So he had it rough. So he's been glued to me all morning. That's why I told him he could still be in here, but now he's crying. So let me see if he needs to go outside. Poor guy.
Sure.
Do you have the linky Lou?
It's in there.
Okay. Do. Let's try that one. Sometimes the preview link. Okay, it works.
Well, no, I had the completely wrong. I grabbed.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah. I grabbed the wrong
one. It'd be better if you shared it and then you can scroll while I go let this dog out. Or if you want, I can just put it up and you can tell the people there's a video there.
Yeah, there's a video. I told you.
Actually, you did a video? Here, wait. We'll play the video.
Okay.
Is this it? Or harg, everybody, look. So we're gonna go check out all the cool, like I love these menu links.
Yeah, I actually did them this time.
Did you really?
Yeah, I hate them, but it's fine.
I know you do. Let me play this and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna shove the dog out the door. Poor guy.
Do the thing.
I like the movie credits. Oh, was iMovie? I've done that.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to do something of, relative quality.
Yeah. Ooh, I push all the buttons. Here we go. Yeah, Michael, this is definitely up your alley, based off of what I read of your work. So yeah, this is cool. See, this is why I love this show. It's like introducing people, and it's like you might find your next favorite thing, when people come on the show. So it's always a good time. You're not a writer though, but I'm an artist. But both interest me on this. Yeah, for sure. What do you mean you're not a writer? You're developing a story. I saw it. Lies. Get back to work. Oh, goodness. 15 years. Is this the one that started them all too?
This is the first book we released March 2010. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Grace.
It's crazy that it's been going that long. It's crazy that we're still doing it. It's crazy that JB Netto is still doing the art. He has done all but 2 issues of this entire series. Yeah, that was our homage to the crazy girls of Las Vegas. This is not just an homage to the Bible. This is like, I'm a big Vegas fan in general. So I am 100% like all over Vegas, in its interpretation and visual and everything. So yeah, I love it.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a biblical attraction at Vegas unless it's like,
no.
sin.
No,
They call it Sin City. So, I mean, it technically could be related, right?
That's true. It's true. Yeah.
Biblical in a different sense.
That's right.
But
that's right. Yeah, this is all stuff you guys can read whenever you want. It's just whatever. We got a few preview pages here. Again, JB Netto's doing the art. Chris Hall is the colorist. So there's sort of a little flashback. That's why it looks brown like that. It's a little flashback of like Mary throughout, sort of, this is where I was, this is where I am. And then we get to the big double splash there where she's literally fighting all her demons. Looks amazing. We'll have there'll be a couple more preview pages in here before I launch tonight too, but this is just kind of what I've got at the moment.
Dang. Do you name all the demons too? Like they're named?
They will have, they're not going to be like, Judy and Amy names,
but but do they have actual, all 7 of them?
They will have sort of insinuated names, but yeah. It's not like they're gods, like we're going to name them, Hermes and Zeus and whatever, but they will have, there will be an insinuation of sort of a quote unquote name. Yeah.
I've been traipsing around in the Key of Solomon myself, so but you got to be careful though. It's like you don't want to invoke none of that, but it's interesting to see some of the named demons and their history.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, how far deep did you go with these 7 demons? Does it say in the Bible which 7 demons he cast out?
No, it does not. It does not. The 7 demons in the Bible are very vague. In fact, it really doesn't. It's an interpretation thing. It's not like, oh look, I'm an exorcist and I got rid of these 7 demons. It's really an interpretation. Some interpret it literally as literal demons. Some interpret it as the demons as essentially like just vices. He helped her with her problems, basically.
Right.
So it's an interpretation. In ours, you're going to get kind of a combination of the two things. You're going to get sort of the literal demon, and then what it sort of meant as it was attached to Mary back in the olden days here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at this page. Number 1, it's gorgeous. The colors are fabulous. And she's waking up and then she sees something bright. I was like, oh, we're seeing an angel. And then you see this reflection and I'm like, oh, of course you wouldn't tell me what this is. Leave us hanging. Tom.
Wow, that's almost like storytelling.
Right. Almost like storytelling. Shut up, Laurie. That's what it's supposed to do. I know, but I'm just pointing out, I was like, do you see what I see, people? There's a thing here. All we need next is a word bubble that says, do not be afraid.
We need the next page.
Yeah, which, damn you.
You may or may not get, but there you go.
On the preview, no, but.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some of the specials that we get?
So day 1, we've been doing these wizard cards for a while. People have been really digging on them. They're just old homages to the old days of Wizard. So this is not a stretch goal. Everybody who backs on not day 1. Sorry, this says day 1, but because we're launching in the evening this time, we're making it for the first 24 hours. Yeah, so you'll have 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you will automatically get the wizard card. It's not a stretch goal. It's just an immediate freebie. And that's Anubis. That's our guy. That's our death right there.
You gonna start 3D printing him like Carissa?
No.
Plushies? No. Do we get plushies?
No. If we're doing anything, we'll have a real toy out of that.
I'm kidding.
And then we always do day 1, again, first 24 hours in this case, bonus items. These are what we call retro foils. So we're taking some of the books that we did back in the day that when we weren't doing foils and metals and fancy things.
Yeah.
So whenever we do sort of these anniversary styles things, we go back to our roots. And these will all be now older covers printed in foil. That's FICO Osio and the Luxor Angel there. Then we have JB Netto and Danica with the fire hair. And
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Then Mike Chrome with one of our angels over Las Vegas. So those will be available the first 24 hours and then they disappear. So that's it. We only make as many as get ordered on those books.
Is that her knee pad? She have a knee pad?
Yeah. Yeah, she's all armored up.
Dang. Except for the womb. You got to have the womb exposed for the womb powers.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. And then the basic books. We have our anniversary logo edition. We did like the old Marvel framing with the characters around the edges.
Oh, cool. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. So we did that. We did that for Critter earlier in the year too, and now we have it for Penny for Your Soul. Came out nice. It's a cool looking visual. So that's JB Neto. He did the basic cover. That's Danica again. Then we have the star of the book, Mary Magdalene by Pedro Perez, in the throne room. Then we have A Fallen Angel. This is Juan Jose Rip. He is a legendary comics guy. He's been doing this for decades upon decades. Anybody who knows the old school Chaos comics, Lady Death and stuff, he used to do stuff for them all the time. He's done stuff with Frank Miller and on and on and on. Wow. So we're really lucky to get him to do something amazing for us.
Her draws are broken.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a harness there. Yeah,
it's the butt crack is out.
Sorry about that.
She wanted to get that looked at.
Sorry about that. Then we have work of art. Now this might be okay. Laurie saw it immediately.
Oh my god! Okay, you did not do that, Tom.
I'm glad you keyed right in on it. This has been something I have wanted to do for years upon years upon years, and I was like, I now know how to do this. And so this is Narcelio Sousa. So this is our angel Afriel, who has a sort of a history of being a little.
I'll be right back.
Yep, he has a history of being a little, on the wild side. And so if you can't really see it, guys, basically she's standing there and she's looking at a piece of art up on the wall. And basically the art is if she had sat down on the canvas, right? So her hands are kind of behind her, and then you see her butt and her legs and whatever. And then the paint that she used is still on her butt and legs and so on. So what we're doing here is there's 4 different versions, and we're going to be printing these in different quantities. There's still going to be 100 copies of all of these guys. There's 100 copies. Okay. 100 made. But in this case, we're going to make 100, but divide it among the 4 colors.
Oh.
So
there's like only 100.
Right. So there's like 50 blues and like 30 greens and, however it breaks down like that. Yeah. So that's how that's going to happen. And if you buy one of those, you'll just get one at random. We'll just pull it out of the box and you'll get one.
So we won't know how exclusive they are. Will you tell us at the end? Like there was only
in the description it tells you. Yeah, in the description it tells you. So it'll say like 50 blues, 30 greens.
Okay.
15 pinks and 5 reds or something like that. So that's in the description. We already have that laid out and figured out. But you won't know which one you're getting,
right?
Because we're just going to pull one. Now, if you buy 2 of them, I will try and do what I can to make sure you get 2 different ones.
Well, yeah,
as much as I possibly can in that regard. But so that should be kind of fun.
You always find something to do that makes me chuckle. You know where I'm just like, God,
literally, this has been something that's been in my head for so long, and
I can see why.
It was time. It was time, and I loved your reaction. It was perfect.
Oh Lord, I was scrolling. I was like, oh my God, Tom. Tom, for those of you that don't know, Tom never crosses that line completely. He there's never any nudity, but it's close. And it always makes
we do topless stuff from time to time, but it's relatively rare. This is one of the books that we do it with because it's a Las Vegas book. I mean, that's
I mean that makes sense.
But even in this, we still have like lines that we won't do. Like you won't see a Joan of Arc topless. You won't see a Mary Magdalene topless. Like we even draw the line for ourselves. Like Cupid, we'll do topless. That's fine. General angels, sure. But like even with some of these characters, I kind of wanted to give them sort of the respect that they deserve within the context of who they are. So yeah.
I still think the best reaction from me was when I was reading Princess versus Zombies. And Belle, who is blind in the book, touches their face, but she doesn't stop there. She just touches it all. And I was just like, Jesus. He's like, what? She has to know what they look like. And I was like, but moving on. But I'm always like, oh, Tom. Oh, I like this Joan of Arc cover too.
There's Joan of Arc. That is by Steven Segovia. He's a big Marvel guy, and he did a lot of Spawn stuff.
Yeah.
So really happy to have him. Nia Rufino colored it. And then Drax Gall just absolutely crushed the Cupid cover. Nia Rufino on colors again there as well.
Nia Rufino is on my bucket list to meet her.
Yeah,
she
seems
great.
Like
she's a really nice person, and she's so talented. Isn't just because you actually do it with taste.
Yeah, we want to find sort of a to some degree, we want it to fit whatever's happening. Like we don't want to just be like, look, I'm standing in the city and now my top's off. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, put it in a context that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, my top is off.
Yeah.
Like that's
And then that's Bunny. She's the first horseman. She's War.
And I still think that's funny that you named War Bunny. Of all things. We have a rabbit overpopulation in our neighborhood. So like I go walking in the morning sometimes and I'll see 15 bunnies. And if there's anything that you're not afraid of and in no way, shape, or form makes you think of battle or war, it is a bunny. I was like, that's hilarious.
Like, she's awesome.
Because the ears, she has the ears on her.
No, that's just she again, spoiler alert, she was just Bunny. She's a valet at the hotel. But she ends up through the course of the story becoming War, getting the apocalypse sword and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe have a bikers week in Vegas and then it'd be normal. Are you saying about the tops? Are tops coming off in the middle of the city?
Topless? Yeah.
That's how it happens. Have a biker week. Does that happen, Michael? Are you big into biker culture? I'm just curious. I don't know. You have to tell me. Now
and then so here's Cupid again. So Keith Garvey is doing a series of covers called the Lingerie Wars for us, and they're all basically like these old style, like World War II, propaganda, things with the girls and the military equipment. We did one with Critter. This is the second one, and we'll be doing a few more throughout the year. Yeah.
I have to put Carrie's comment. Tom. You said it was weird that a top would just come off in public, but may I point out that Thor's clothes come off in Love and Thunder, which was very much awesome. That was like our retribution.
Yeah, but he was in a fantasy place. He was in like a god world. He wasn't like in New York.
Yeah. That was just funny. He was like, you work too hard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Carrie, let me scroll up. Matthew, where did you post it? Is giving away ash cans of his comic on his last blog post. So do you have a link or something, Matthew, that I can drop and put on the screen? Post it. I didn't see. No, Matthew, what was it? And then it says, my friends are, and there's a lot of that. Oh, okay. The girl's just like, I'm hot. Take off your top. But on a bike, though, I'd be afraid. Fall off. Okay. I fall off that bike. Plus, so if you don't have boobs, you don't understand this. But I mean, like, they move, right? So if you're on a bike, you're going. It just seems like that would be uncomfortable, right? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Bunny rides motorcycles too. She's a big motorcycle girl. So
is she?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Point is, Tom, his clothes came off and he had a perfect tush. It is Chris Hemsworth we're talking about. So if it wasn't, I'm like, of course, it's Chris Hemsworth. That's what they pay him money to do, is go work out and take
He's paid to look like that. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like if I got paid, I don't know, $5 million a movie, I would be in tip-top shape too. All you have to do is copy and paste it into the comics and post it. And then I will put it on the screen, Matthew. And then people can copy it from there and put it in their browser and they can go right to the link. These crack me up. These whole, it just seems like it would be a good tattoo and, like military and like the Navy. That's what that makes me think of when I see these. Riding
it's like a bomber girl,
she's love bombing
the side of the thing. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you right now, Laurie. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's more. Wait for it.
Well, I got to scroll?
You got to scroll now. There's
okay,
more.
I was like, what are you telling me to do here?
Wait for it. Here's the combos, guys. So here's
Bunny.
the
combos.
We have her in heaven and in hell.
It looks like it would be cold there. No, it's just heaven.
This is heaven.
I like it. And
we have the Vegas. Demon and the fallen angel and the totally fallen angel by Juan Jose Rip, which you can only, incidentally, guys, you can only get these as combos. If you want the bonus versions, these are combos only. We're only making 65 of these side versions. The side chicks, there's only 65 of these, so there's very limited.
These are covers or these are prints?
These are covers. All of these are covers. Yep.
Okay. Just making sure.
All of these are covers. Then we have the Night and Day for Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's Joan of Arc. Sorry, excuse me.
Yep.
We didn't get to Cupid yet. Oh my Lord. I have to retract what I said. I was like, Chris, he doesn't go over the line. There she is. Tits down.
There she is. Yep. Nude bomb set. All three. Yep. All three versions. There you go.
I like the green dress. We're going to scroll on.
And then this is the whole package here, guys. It's a special deal. $250. You get all 2, 3, of the covers, 4, 5, including 6, the variants.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yep. All 13 books. Also remember that the price that you see includes your shipping. There's no extra shipping cost for us. It's all right there. So yeah.
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books. And then, of course, if you haven't read the book before, we can get you caught up. We have trade paperbacks. We have, I realized I just put a wrong image in there too.
I'm just laughing. It says, read your scripture.
Yeah. I'm hoping everybody has the Laurie reactions to all of this. This is
I'm having fun.
So far. Fantastic so far. So you can get all the trade paperbacks, or if you just want digital, you can get it digital. That's fine too. We do have a Mary Magdalene, Temptation of Mary Magdalene, which is right there, the next thing down. That's sort of a prequel to the whole series. It's Lucifer and Mary kind of before the first volume starts. So it is a prequel, but it reads all on its own. That's a new printing of it with a new cover. The book was long out of print and we just never had it. So I was like, let's make a new limited edition version of it. So we do have that. Then we have the Penny for Your Soul Showgirls pinup book, which we did back in 2020. It was the 25-year anniversary for Showgirls, and it was our 10-year anniversary. So we combined the two, and
ever.
So it tells the story of Showgirls using our angels and devil girls throughout the book. It's completely brand new, 100% new art on the inside. It's not reprinting anything. It's all new art. It's super fun. Jesse Witchman on the cover as well. So yeah, that was a really fun project to do. And there's some really amazing art in there. Marissa Pope had her first ever BDI piece put in there. We had David Harrigan from Coffin Comics. His first piece was in there. There's a Pedro Perez in there, CB Zane, Brian Peterson. Yes, there is the boobs in that book. There is the boobs. So prepare yourself. You're muted, Laurie.
I know. I'm still talking. Okay. I was trying to give Matthew a wrench, but I always forget that I mute myself. So I'm like just talking anyway. And I love when StreamYard is like, you're muted across the top of the screen. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I think I got, no, I just added you here. You're good. Drop the linky, Lou. You're good. Anywho.
And then the rest is just the rest of BDI stuff. We have different ways for you to get involved in some of the books that we do. Quick catch-up books where you can just get like the last few issues just to try it out. So we have Oz for that. We have Critter for that.
Here we go.
We have, I don't remember what else we put in there. Critter and, the anthologies, the last two anthologies, 13 and 14. 15 will be out in October.
Cool.
Then we have the Goth Day catch-up, Antoinette, which is just a single issue, but you get both versions of it, the head and headless version.
Hilarious. I thought this was funny too, because we talked about this on the show at some point. I was like, ha 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 ha. Sorry. I got a weird sense of humor. Not only it's virgin, but there's no logo. Headless and no words. It makes sense because you can't read them with no eyes. It's funny. Camp Crossover, which is fabulous. This is hilarious.
Camp Crossover is our summer camp book that we do with all of our characters, and that comes with a Cupid bikini standee. So it's like, oh, in fact, it's right here.
Oh, you have one? Ta-da!
Comes with a little acrylic standee.
Cool.
Just like that.
I want to do some of those. I want to see if I can laser cut them out of wood.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah.
Betcha I could.
And then we have our preview book for It's Only an Island If You Look at It from the Water. That'll be next year. And then we have Sand and Scales. That's a preview book for our Gladiator book.
Gotcha. So what's in the preview book is 8 pages?
They're 8 pages. Yeah. It's all story. Yeah. It's an 8-page story for each of those books. Yeah. Just to give you a little taste of, kind of what we have in mind.
What is this? Sand and Scales.
Sand and Scales. So it's like Spartacus, but we're adding extra fantasy into it. That's why she's got the dragon arm there.
Cryptid. She's part Loch Ness monster. Let's be honest. Just kidding. That would be the weirdest thing that you could be part of and be in a gladiator arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can turn into a giant whale, be like, and just land on people and crush them. That's it. Now we're about at the bottom of the page.
That's it.
Super cool. So this will be live tonight.
Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you. That's what
and I'll be live about 7:30 or so to kind of lead into it on my page. So you guys are welcome to come hang out while we talk about this book again. If you got more questions, you can let me know. But yeah, that's it. That's the thing. And then we'll be doing the second book. So this is going to be a 40-page book. And then the second 40-page book will be in November to wrap it up. So it's essentially the equivalent of 4 issues in 2 big books.
40 pages?
40 pages, yeah.
That's nuts.
8 p.m. Eastern is the time zone, Carrie. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Because that's where I am.
You are 7 hours ahead?
Of what?
Eastern? She's in the UK.
Oh, UK, so that's like 5 hours ahead.
5?
So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's like 1 o'clock in the morning for you, roughly. 1 in the morning. But Carrie, again, if you're interested in getting in and you're worried about like the day one stuff, it's 24 hours.
It's 24 hours.
Yeah. You can pledge like tomorrow morning for you. Don't feel like you got to be up.
Yourself.
Like,
Yeah.
You have 24 hours to get involved. So,
and you ship international, yes?
Sure we do, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yep, anywhere in the world. Very good.
Absolutely.
I'm not brave enough to do that. I'm too afraid.
Well, I mean, you have to know how much the costs are.
Yeah.
And then, you break it down as best as you can. I mean, it changes all the time. It's never an exact number, but
yeah,
we get it pretty close. Yeah.
Why I'm afraid.
I've done it enough that I'm pretty
close.
Pretty locked in on what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good looking campaign too.
Heck yeah.
I'm always jealous of all your images and your art that's put together. Everything looks so professional. I try to make mine look perfect. I'm always my biggest critic though. You put it up there and you're like, he looks like crap.
This has been a long time sort of refining all of this. You go back to the early campaigns that I did. I was like, this is schlock, man. Like, what are we doing? So I've just kind of figured out over time how to tighten things up and create sort of these like sections of we've hit and now we're in a new space and now we're in a new space. I want to make it very clear that as people are scrolling, they're seeing something different. And
that's smart. Like even just like scrolling this way, you can see like all the Penny for Your Soul has the fire background behind the graphics, and as soon as we switch to here's other Big Dog ink, it's blue, so it's very obvious. It should be very obvious. Kind of smacks you in the face. If it's not obvious to you, oh my God, please pay attention. It changes, right? So the background changes depending on what you're looking at. So that's smart.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I know I scroll super fast. Sorry, guys. Let's go all the way to the top. And just a reminder, the Linky Loo is all the way up here. Here it is. Nope, that's the wrong Linky Loo. That's my Linky Loo. You can sign up for that too, though. Remember, here we go. This Linky Loo. This is where you click for notification. This thing's going live tonight anyway, so it don't matter. Sign up or not. It's up to you. Now, you sent me this right before we went live, and I need some explanation on what the heck this is.
So this is something that, again, this has been something that's been being worked on for over 5 years. I wanted to do this for 2020, which was our 10-year anniversary. But COVID happened and just all kinds of crap went down, and it just we could never get it finished. So we just kept working on it piecemeal here and there. So this is our, hold on a second. What is my computer doing?
I have to zoom in. I can't read that. Well, I'm not gonna be able to read it, but Agents of Unicorn.
Well, we can zoom in.
This is Critterverse, right?
Yeah, this is Critterverse. So basically what this is, though, it's our who's who. So like Marvel does their who's who in the Marvel universe, just giving explanations of characters and powers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what this is it's our who's who. And I just figured we'd throw this up here and give everybody kind of a look at
cool.
what these things are going to look like, and some of these different characters that are part of the BDI universe. And so
Go back. Sharukaza, and that's a Maltese word for shame on you.
Laurie has all the right reactions. I love it.
Are we in James Bond? Are we like, I feel like you name your yes, this is named after like a James Bond heroine or
she's a penny for your soul porn star. What do you want?
Thank you. That explains everything. Yeah, moving on.
Yep. So again, just a little sort of quick throw through all of the stuff that we do. Ursa Minor and Critter and Penny for Your Soul.
That's
and
cool.
All this stuff. So there's
to do that too. It's like because because I'm just going to use myself as an example. Like there's a bunch of characters that move in and out of our story that have such a great backstory, but I don't want to do a whole backstory issue on each character because I feel like that's kind of just tedious and could be fluff.
Sure.
But it'd be great to have like, here's a picture of Dwayne Fink. Here's his history. This is why he's important. I feel like we got to get a little further into the story, but this is great.
Yeah.
Because then it can be like, okay, where did she come from? Yeah, history. And then it has like all their stats.
Yep.
Height, weight, eye, hair, strength level, like superhuman powers. So cool. The apprentice needs pants. Oh, it's not pants. Bison. Dang.
So this is one of the cool things about this.
I'm sorry. It's just too funny. I read so much in it. I love Blue Jay too.
Hold on a second.
I met her in the last anthology. That was fun.
These
guys.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta find what's their deal. They're the opposite of a priest.
Yeah, they're you can see the guy down at the bottom. He's got the Necronomicon. That's his book.
He's the opposite of a priest. Yeah, I was like, excuse me. But they're all the same. Are they clones?
Well, you'll have to read the book, won't you?
Huh.
Yeah. So these guys first appeared. So for those
are they
that don't
all
know,
named Chad?
Probably.
Chad.
There's Blue Jay.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about this book is, when somebody buys it, they're going to be able to get a sense of like the whole BDI universe. So if they only know Critter or they only know Penny or whatever, they're going to get, there's Bunny, there's our Bunny.
Dang, I want that outfit.
They get to know everything else that you do with this type of a book. So
yeah,
every one of these is done by a different artist as well. So there's going to be like 32 of these. It's going to be like a 32-page book. So there's 32 different artists that are involved in this, plus the folks that are going to do covers.
Cool.
And then that's it. We're back
When's this planned for?
This will be part of the
Legend of Oz?
the BD 15 and or sorry, part of the BD 15 anthology. So we're gonna have the anthology book plus this, which has actually been named by one of our fans, Freddie Hernandez. We were trying to figure out a name for this, like BDI Who's Who, whatever, blah blah blah. And he was like, "Why don't you call it using the logo BDI, right? BDI Index, so BD Index."
Cool.
So that's what it's called.
Smart.
Yeah. So it's called the BD Index. And that'll be a second book available with the BD 15 anthology in October. Yeah.
Nice. I love him. Cowardly Lion.
Yeah. So we had Jen Broomall, Wendy Shaner. Oh my God. The credits are in the front. I'm not going to remember who did all these things.
That's interesting too. All right. So you're putting the artist information on this.
They'll be in the front inside cover. So in order, you'll know who did them.
Okay. So it'll be like an actual index.
Yes.
Can it be like Bunny's on page 28 or something?
Right. It'll actually have the artist name there as well. Jordan Gunderson. That's Whitney Cook. This is David Jackson. That's Pedro Perez. That's David Moore. Jeff Pena. Eduardo Garcia.
Wow.
This is an Aspen guy. Oh my God. I can't think of his name. He's one of our Aspen guys.
Don't mess it up.
Narcelio Sousa, Mannix Francisco. No, sorry. That's Mannix Francisco. Jesus.
I'm impressed that you know most of them. Just by looking at it, it's great.
This is Fabio Samao.
15 years of working with artists, man. That's impressive.
That's Billy Cooks. That is Jason Hare. That is Chris Enott. That is Jason Millett. That is Sean Ryan. Yeah. And then there's colorists involved in that too, but
of course,
that's the generality of who we've got for you. And then we'll have some cover artists that'll do some cool, crossover type things that you wouldn't normally see. We'll put like Oz and Critter together, things that, just wouldn't normally happen in the stories. So yeah.
And for those that don't know, Tom does that camp crossover where he pulls in characters from all his different stories and they go to camp, and it's a lot of fun. And you even get to see Tom in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I laughed so hard because his big cheesy smile and like these stars in his eyes. I was like, you are responsible for this.
Fixated on that.
That was hilarious. And Tom's like, this is not my fault. And I'm like, it's awesome.
That is not in the script. Nia did that. Yep.
It was great.
Nia did that. Yeah.
I was like, everybody should have a headshot drawn of them like that because it would be hilarious. Use your profile picture.
Yeah, there's no camp crossover this year. We didn't, because I had to shift everything around. We didn't have time. But we will have some more. When we get back into work next year.
This is smart because again, I'm with you where like some people might be really into Critter and not know Legend of Oz, or some people might be into Legend of Oz and not know Penny for Your Soul. And that's a great way to get the backstory on the characters that maybe you want more, but also get introduced to the other worlds. So that's genius. Oh, Angels of a Renaissance, you missed it. He just named like 15 of them.
Yeah, that's not even all of the pages either. There's still pages. Those were just ones that were done. There's others that are still underway and being worked on. So, but yeah, it gives you a good sense of what the book's going to be and how it looks. It took me a long time to figure out the design and the layout, and because I wanted it to kind of be, originally it was a straight rip of the old Marvel Who's Who.
Yeah.
But then I was like, this is garbage, and so let me figure out a way to kind of
do it better,
give it a little bit of a punch up. We still use sort of the generalities of the Marvel thing, but with just little slight changes. So yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to pay homage, but you don't ever want to pull directly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my opinion, that's my personal
Yeah.
opinion. I think it should be make it your own,
Well, even Robert Kirkman did it with his Invincible series, and it was literally just the Marvel Universe
Was it?
like design. And I was like,
Oh, man.
that's what really triggered me. I was like, oh
This is
man, I want to do this.
different.
But then, yeah, as we were designing it, I was like, let me do this a different way.
Tweak it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't know he did that either.
yeah.
That's another interesting story. And I know you have talked about Invincible a lot in like some of the similarities with your journey and Robert Kirkman, which is interesting as well. But like he's one of the people that really got me reading comics. And so his Invincible universe is hilarious and gory, and his characters are really interesting. Even just like Monster Girl is so interesting,
yeah, and the world building that he does with Invincible is really good.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, like, and we even market it. So there was a period of time it wasn't for the whole book, but there was a period of time where he marketed the book as the best superhero comic book in the universe. And so we have since marketed Critter as the second best superhero comic book in the universe. And so people ask about that. They're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, this is what it means. But if you like Invincible, I'm not going to tell you that Critter is the same because it's not as violent as Invincible, but within the world building construct of it, the storytelling construct of it, there are parallels, so that if you like how the worlds were built, I think you would like Critter. It's just a different tone, but the world building and the storytelling kind of, runs sort of parallel.
And I really think that people should just grow a mustache and wear all white, and you could be a Viltrumite for Halloween this year.
That's the easiest costume. Yeah.
I told my husband he could totally pull off Omni-Man if he grew a mustache. He didn't like it. He's like, "What are you calling me old? If the shoe fits." I'm like, "Sorry, I can't be your Asian lady."
I'm calling you an alien is what I'm calling
you.
you.
That's it. Michael says, "I'm a card guy. I always like the art and the little descriptions and the power bars with the cards in the books that
we do trading cards for our stretch goals. We've been doing those for many, many years. And we have a cool kind of design for them. And so, yeah, if you like cards, stretch goals are cards are part of our stretch goals.
That's cool. My business card is actually one of those, like it's a knockoff, like an X-Men trading card, but it's me as Baroness from G.I. Joe. And then with my stats on the back. People think if people know what it is, they think it's hilarious. I think it's funny.
Well, that's always the struggle with like doing homages and stuff, is if people don't know the source, it doesn't, there's no connect. So you know who your audience is for that stuff, and you have to really direct what you're doing at. This is for these people because they're going to get it. Yeah.
But I think I could pull off Baroness. Oh, I gotta drop like 10 pounds. But yeah, I could pull off Baroness for sure. I don't see any stretch goals on your campaign. Are we adding those later?
We don't really list like the list. We don't do that.
No.
We don't say, hey, if we get to 10,000 like this, we don't do that. We basically just pop it when it happens, generally what we do is it's the goal is 5,000, and then at 9,000 that's generally our first stretch goal, and we'll pop it up, hey, unlocked, here's whatever, and then after that it's basically every $2,000 we unlock another one. That's sort of our system, is every $2,000 we'll unlock something else. What we will do is once we pop the first stretch goal, we'll have a teaser then for the next one. It'll be kind of like blacked out, like, oh, this is like what's next, but we won't show you until it like unlocks. But we don't have like, 15, 17, 19, 20, like we don't have that list of things. Because again, I don't know that there's, and maybe I'm wrong, but in my brain, it doesn't matter, right? Because what I see is people come to the campaign, they buy their books, and then they go away. That's it. They just go away. I literally get messages from people going, I think I got the wrong package because mine had a bunch of stickers and magnets and cards in it. And I'm like, Those are all free things for you. Like like, I don't really think that people pay attention to that stuff.
Mine do.
As much as we think they do.
Well, mine do because I do crazy shit in my stretch goals.
You do crazy shit.
Stash a watermelon. I'll dress up as Pikachu if we hit this number. I'm giving away edible stretch goals this coming campaign. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have gummies by the Candy Crypt. So it's like,
you're just so far outside the box that people that makes sense.
Yeah, sense. So when we get close, like people will pay attention because we need to push so we can get this slice and dice unlocked. So they'll push, and I'll see people come back and they'll just add on stuff. And I'm like, I think you already have one of those. Like, I don't care. I can have another one. I want this stretch goal.
I did have, when I did the campaign for Lights Camera Jungle, I did have a big, I don't remember what the dollar number was, but we did post it. I had like a list, like here's a stretch goal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it was some kind of crazy number where if we got to that number, and we didn't, but if we got to that number, I would dye my hair blonde. Like so I've had those things. But we've never accomplished those.
Some of those things, it just depends on what they are. And I think that when people experience them and then they come back to do it, like the slice and dice, like I think I had it on a campaign that we didn't get to it, and then we did on the next one, and now it's like we got to get to the slice and dice because I want to vote to murder this XYZ. So once they experience it, like I've seen people wax their back hair for a stretch goal and stuff, and it's just so odd.
Yeah, there was a time people were like eating hot chips and stuff, and I'm like, this is dumb, guys. Like, what are we doing? And that's one of the downsides, I think, to crowdfunding, is that it's become, it's not about selling comics or whatever item you're trying to sell. It's become like these game shows, and I'm like, this is not what I'm interested in anymore. I'm not. I want to make a comic. I want you guys to buy the comic because you want it, and I want that to be the reason that we're getting together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like when you go to the comic book store and you buy Batman, you're not like, well, where's my trading card and my bookmark and my, like, you're not asking those things. But here,
and will you wax your back for me right now?
Will Jim Lee wax his back for me if I buy this book? Yeah. Like, it's such a weird environment that has been created over all of these years with all of this extra stuff in the attempt to get more backers and more money and whatever. But I'm not sold that all of that stuff really accomplishes anything.
No, some of it's just for fun. And like what Lou just said, I threw on there that I was going to get a tattoo, but I always put it at a number I don't think we're going to make it to.
Yeah.
Because my husband's like, you're going to do what? And I was like, we're not going to get that number. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just to be silly. But yeah, I feel like that is part of, and I feel like I fall into that shtick too, where I'm just like, well, we'll do this and we'll do and it's the experience. And I really feel like I'm going to have so many bottles of hot sauce going out on this next campaign.
Yeah.
Because I have cultivated this fandom of foodies along with my comic book.
Yeah.
And they found out that it's really good, and that a lot of times they're out of state and the only place they can get it is from the campaign.
Yeah.
So I had someone ask me, like, how many bottles of hot sauce can I order with my tier? And I was like, how many do you want? And he was like, probably like 6. I was like, oh my God. I'm going to be making hot sauce for days. I'm like, you got to read the story though, right? And like, that's why we're here, is the story. Hot sauce is just for fun, but.
Well, hopefully they're reading the story. That's the whole thing, is,
but you never know. I shared this story before. I have a couple creators here in Texas that are artists, and like they're part of our group. So like we see them everywhere, and they've supported my book. And then one of them came to me and was like, I'm missing 2 of your books. I was like, you are? And she was like, yeah, I actually went back and read them. And I was like, you haven't been reading them? So it took me off guard. But that's just a common thing, like support the person, whether your book is good or not. And she was like, your books are really good. And I was like, thank you. I thought you were reading them the whole time. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people are supporting you and still not reading your stuff. So it's like, how many people are in Path and haven't read Path? That's interesting to me. It's like, it's a good story. You should read it. No? Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna like poo-poo people that do that stuff. I mean,
No.
if you have the time, the drive, the energy to do it, feel free. But I want to get into the book. I want to produce the book. I want to get into the next book, and I don't want to fool around with a lot of extraneous extra things. There's templates for how to make this kind of stuff work. If you look at Brian Polito and how he did stuff, he would give away, we're giving away 10 metal covers for randomly throughout a campaign and giving away this and that. There's all kinds of things. And we've done some of that stuff, but I've never had a sense that it mattered.
Makes a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not gaining people because like, oh, they're giving away things, I'm coming in. Like, I'm not seeing that. So for me, I would rather keep like a tight community and just sort of focus on making a really good book, and then some extras. I do love doing the chibi magnets that we do with Bun Leung. But again, here's another one of the things. So many times, like, these stretch goals are just like, well, let's just take art and stick it on a card. So you already have it. Like, it's just the same art being transplanted onto different items. It's on a card, it's on a poker chip, it's the same thing. So I always wanted to kind of try and level that up, and that's why we started having Bun do brand new art for all the chibis. So you're getting something that doesn't exist in any other form.
I do that as well.
And I think that's value.
That has value.
Right? I think that's
value. Still, if it's like I usually don't do bookmarks. In like last campaign, I did a bunch of stickers, but in my MO is I don't like doing that stuff because everybody has stickers, everybody has bookmarks, and Laurie Calcaterra doesn't do the same thing as everybody else. I just don't. I have a problem with that.
I have never, nor will I ever, produce a bookmark.
Well, I mean, a lot of times when I get campaigns and we have stretch goals that are bookmarks and stickers, sometimes I leave them in the back of the book. I don't even take them out.
Yeah. There will never, ever be if you ever see a Big Dog Ink bookmark, it's bootleg.
I'm going to make them. It'll be a stretch goal on my next campaign, guys. Big Dog Ink bookmark from Laurie Calcaterra.
I will accept that. I will accept that. Okay. I'll accept that.
All right.
I'll be like, hey, guys, if you want that elusive Big Dog Ink bookmark, you got to go get Path of the Pale Rider.
It'll be a $12,000 stretch goal.
That's right. It'll be big. It'll be big.
Yeah, we're going to make it giant.
Because it's going to be an item you can't get anywhere else.
Can't get anywhere else, guys. Yep. Bootleg bookmark. I'm going to do it. You watch.
Do it. I'm telling you right now. I'm giving you permission.
All right, I'm doing it. You guys heard it here. I'm going to do a bootleg bookmark for BDI.
Yeah.
Because I can.
Yeah.
Because that's how I roll. I like doing funny things. And a lot of people get bogged down by that stuff and like all the extra things. I can't say that there's ever been a stretch goal or a merchandise item that has bogged down our campaign where it's like, usually it's like when we get the books, we're ready to ship. You know what I mean? Because I've been working on all that stuff because I do it myself.
Yeah.
Because I love doing it. I have a fun time. So for all the other creators that get bogged down, sucks to be you. I love what I do. I want to keep doing it.
That's it. And that's the whole thing is you got to enjoy what you're doing. And I have streamlined out the things that I did not enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And again, I'm one person. I don't even have like a wife or anybody to be like, hey, it's time to like help do this crap. It's like everything is me. So I don't really have a choice other than to be like, let's streamline this into a sort of a template so everybody understands how it works. Everybody understands kind of what you get and what Tom does. It's the TV magnets. It's these. It's this. It's that. They understand what the bonuses usually are. Sometimes we do these acrylic standee things, that kind of stuff. So that's in my brain. That makes sense. Like streamline it, make it so that it's easy for everybody to understand if you're new, and very easy once you're in our system. You can come in, you know where to go, you know what you're looking for. Click, 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 click. I'm out, and we're done. Yeah.
Hey, Grey Wolf. Nice to see you, man. And with that, Grey Wolf, we're gonna wrap up shop. Welcome to the show. We're ending the show. Because it's about that time, man. It goes by so quick. And I feel like we could have gone off so many more tangents. And
we still got 15 minutes for tangents.
Tiny things. But this is usually when, I have to play ads at the end is the problem.
You don't have 15 minutes of ads. You better not have 15 minutes of ads.
Just for you, I'm going to play 15 minutes of ads. No, but this is where we talk about like where people can find you, what shows you're coming up on. So Comic-Cons, and obviously, go to Penny for Your Soul tonight. And back that, but website, social media, all that good stuff. I want to make sure we put aside time for that before I start playing commercials.
We're on all the socials for the most part. You can just look up Big Dog Inc. You'll find us on all those places. We do a Patreon, which does tie into the campaign here, because we do what's called Patreon perks. Patreon.com/Big Dog Inc. Patreon perks are if you are a patron at either the $5 or the $10 level, whichever one. Patreon perks, you get a bonus item for being a patron and backing our campaigns. So a lot of times we do it. What?
Because I'm not a member, so it's like
right. It's all blacked out. Yeah. We do original art sketch cards, that we have designed for the campaigns. We've done special metal cards. We've done special comics, all kinds of stuff. So our Patreon is basically like, if you want to really see how we, make the batter and how this works and get advance notice of all the things that we do, plus the Patreon perks, if you are a Kickstarter backer as well. Also, for the first time in this campaign, we have secret pledges.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And the secret pledges will only be for our patrons. So join Patreon. Cool. That's how you will get the links to the secret pledges. That's a thing that we're doing this time.
For those. Yeah. Kickstarter released this thing where and they had I don't think they really had this before. You could send someone a preview link where they could go preview the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's a link to a specific pledge.
Correct.
And you got to have the link in order to see the pledge.
That's correct. Yep. That's it. Cool. So we're going to have that. That's Patreon. We're on, but Facebook is kind of where we do everything. BigDogInc.com. That's the website. Go get your comic books. That's sort of the social media stuff. I'm going to be at cons. Actually, I picked up 2 cons that I hadn't planned on. Going to be at Lansing, Capital City Comic-Con in Lansing in 3 weeks. So the second week of July, I will be there with Keith Garvey. He's going to be there doing his first ever Comic-Con. So there's that. And then 2 weeks after that, 1 week after that, I'm doing the Shark Show with 2 geeks and a microphone. We're doing the Jaws talk on the 19th. The week after that, I'm going to be in Detroit for Motor City Nightmares with Chad.
Nice.
Doing the horror show. And then we get into August, September, October. There's tons more shows that we're doing all throughout the rest of the year. So depending on where you are, we're kind of floating around the Midwest. And then we'll be in San Antonio for the big Texas Comic-Con, which is inviting like 8 BDI people down. We're going to have a huge BDI section in the con to celebrate the 15-year anniversary with like 8 artists. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So it's going to be me, Nia Ruffino, Brian Peterson, Keith Garvey, Chris Enott, CB Zane, Asher Benson. That's 7. I think that's it. I think that's what's going to be there. So It's going to be a crazy big event for that. And then a few more campaigns, the rest of the year. Yes. And I've started my own podcast that I'm doing now with Allison Lear, who is a singer, actress, and cosplayer. She's been cosplaying Dorothy Gale for us for years. She and I do a show on Monday nights called The Oz Couple, where we talk about Wizard of Oz stuff and movies and comics and just kind of whatever we want to talk about, because we're all pop culture nerds. So we do that Monday nights on Facebook, YouTube, at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back doing that episode 7 on this coming Monday. Yeah.
My gosh, it'll go by fast. This is episode 178.
Yeah.
And I picked up this show at episode 34. So it goes by fast. And then I forget, like, Pops is like, hey, you have a special guest for episode 100? And I was like, nope. I was like, I just scheduled it like a regular show. I was like, So it goes by quick. I want to show everybody one more thing because I forgot to show him off in the beginning when I was supposed to. I got my big boy James sculpture in the mail. So he's giant, by the way. Oh, see how giant this thing is. I'm going to turn off the hold on. Boop. So you can see him. He's giant. Look at him though. He's got the nice hamburger with the eyeball. Came with his own stand. He stands up mostly. He's a little unsure, but he'll stand up. But just for some context, let me show you guys. Here's the little sad pancakes that are going to be on the next campaign. So teeny tiny. He's like the size of the hamburger versus this giant big James. And now I'm going to get the STL file for this. So I'll have this as an add-on where I can print him, but I don't think I'm going to print him this big. Probably 3/4 of that. But he's super cool. I just got him today. He's still got the fuzz on him from when I took him out. So I got to hide him from the dog and the children.
It's Big James versus Critter.
That's what people tune in to see, is to see
long distance action figure fights.
We're not weird, I promise. This hamburger turned out super cool. Anyway, so I look forward to 3D printing this guy. We'll see how he turns out. I'm always afraid he's going to fall, though. Let's try this way. No. Nope, he definitely goes the other way. Because there's magnets in the stand for his feet. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to put him down before I break him. Don't fall. I'm going to break it. Oh, Carissa would be so mad. Because it was her sculptor that did it. And I'm like, I got it. And then I'm like, I broke it. Start over. Anyway.
And it's broken.
Well, my friends, that is the show. Thank you for joining us on all of our platforms. I'm looking forward to seeing this on the Roku channel. It's official. We're going to be on Roku very, very soon. My dad told me to let him know when we're live because he's going to subscribe to our Roku channel. Very excited. Join us again next week. We're going to have more guests. I don't remember who's on next week because my brain is still is in Michigan. But I always have excellent people on the show. So let's play a couple ads from our sponsors and other very talented creators. And then we'll wrap up the show with the new outro, which, again, if you haven't seen it, you got to see this outro with me and the Slice and Dice. You got to see it. All right.
And then you'll see me January 6th, 2026.
Or just book a spot on the show. Tom will be back on the Brew. January when?
6th.
January 6th. Just in time. Perfect. All right, guys. See you later.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.